Hey, it's Rachel with Rachel Kohler Dog Training, and I am here with Susan with Tackle Your Dog Training, and this is our weekly Q&A.
Yes.
Uh,
A little
we
bit
are
late.
going, right? I'd be interested to see who wants to join us at 8 p.m. for a dog training Q&A.
Right. I would.
Yeah, I mean, I used to watch late night dog Q&As all the time.
Yeah.
Not being sarcastic, even though it sounded like it.
And I loved when they ran late. Like I'd be doing it till like 9 o'clock. But
But here we are.
but now we are the Q&A.
I know. How weird is that?
It's cool.
It is pretty cool. How's your day been today, Miss Susan?
Good. A little bit. Oh, hey, Sarah.
Oops. Hey, Sarah. How are you? How's Miss SJ? Can I just say that this week went by really fast? Because the last time, because we had 2 weeks between last time. I was going to say the last time it felt like it took forever.
Ooh, sleep on place.
Nice. Keep up the great work. Keep up the great work. Yeah, I was about to say this week feels like it went by really fast, but that's why, because last time it was 2 weeks.
It was 2 weeks. Yeah. Yeah.
God, we did.
My day's been good. I saw Bella and Mervin this morning. And then I had a phone call. Oh, she's a pain. Oh, Sarah, I've been hearing a little bit about SJ and your struggle.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely a hard situation, for sure.
We'll get her where she needs to be, though.
Yeah.
Slowly but surely.
Yep. Because Rachel's so awesome.
Oh goodness! So you saw Bella and Mervin this morning?
Yeah, Bella and Mervin. So they're my one-on-one clients. For anybody that doesn't watch my story, so they're on their 5th lesson because I told Bella's mom today that next session's the last one. Crazy.
What?
Yep. That's it.
What? That's insane. Like, you just started them.
I know.
Like yesterday, so that's weird.
I fit in all 6 of their sessions in 1 week.
In 1 week, wow. Yeah, my day was good. I had Miss Zola do train and play with me this morning, which was nice. I always love when my graduates do train and play with me because if not, I miss them. But I forgot how quickly Zola learns because it's been a while since I taught her anything new. We've just been, working on the commands I taught her that first week. First time training this, but training like play dead, which is bang, like bang. She called in 1 session. Like we're gonna need to like practice it more and in different situations and all that good stuff. But it's like she's like wants to work and is so like driven. It's so much fun.
Now, is it just like, does she have the drive to do it, or is it food driven?
I think it's both. It's a solid like 50-50, I think, because she like wants to work and would like offer it, but I also think like that she just wants that food at the same time. So it was really fun to work with her. And first time training that command, she was already offering a rollover while we were trying to do that. So I'll teach her a rollover next and make sure we can differentiate them.
That's awesome. It's so driven like that. Like, it makes it so much fun.
It's so fun. And then went out to the park with Miss Piper and practiced some stuff with her. It was a beautiful day for it, so it was super awesome.
That's great.
Yeah. Well, unless you have anything, I have a dog training question for you, kind of.
Ready?
All right. It's only kind of a question. So I heard that the e-collars are waterproof. Does that mean, like if it accidentally gets wet, it's okay? Or can I use it for recall and things like that while my dog is actually in the water?
So yes, as my understanding, it's actually waterproof, so your dog can wear it while they're swimming. They just recommend that if you regularly swim your dog, that you tighten the screws that are on it, like every 2 swim sessions or whatever. I think it was every 2 swim sessions you tighten screws. And then you just want to make sure that the ports on the back are closed. So the collar that the dog wears has a port like this. You just want to make sure that that port is closed. If it's open, it's not waterproof.
Perfect. Sorry, I wanted to make a note of that because I haven't heard the tightening the screws.
Yeah.
And Miss Zola is going swimming tomorrow, and her mom was asking about the e-collar and how it's waterproof. And I told her to make sure the port was closed, but Zola's been in training with me for a while, so I'm gonna have her like make sure it's nice and tight before she goes.
Nice.
I don't have Guy's e-collar on me, but it's just the screws on the back of it. She can just tighten it.
I believe so, yes.
Good to know. Well, I'll definitely tell her that as a safety precaution. But good to know. Thank you, Susan.
Yeah.
So, and then like for my part of the question, because I didn't make this part up. So if you have a dog in the water, and we'll say Zola, for example, you can say Zola here and then she doesn't know and apply stem while she's in the water.
So with the
or it's just so it doesn't get ruined. Yeah, the different picture chain, you have to like help her out. But like, does it work in the water?
Yes, but I believe I think from what I've heard, you probably have to use lower levels because the water acts as more of like a conductor, like changes the stem. So just to err on the side of caution, I would turn the level down. So if they don't really recall, like if she doesn't listen, you say no and punish. Normally at a 15, I might start at a 10 just to give her the benefit of the doubt. So I think the impulse is stronger in the water.
That is so interesting.
I think.
Better safe than sorry. And yeah, I'm not sure where they're taking her. It's probably one of those indoor places. So I also talk to them, if she is going to be in a room alone and if she doesn't really even need it. I always take them off just to be safe. Like when I swam Rye in Rhode Island, when it was just me and her outside, she didn't need the e-collar.
Right.
But I know it is advertised as waterproof. So I was curious about can you actually use it in the water? Because otherwise, what would be the point?
Right.
But good to know.
Cool. We should fill the sink full of water, put it on her skin, do a level 10, and then put her arm in the water and do a level 10. See what it feels like.
I know what I'm doing after this Q&A. Smart.
And then
just try these things.
Video.
Okay. I like it. I'm gonna do it.
Okay.
All right. Do you have?
All right. Does the e-collar hurt?
Got lots of e-collar questions. So you just said, does it hurt?
Yep.
So it's not what you think. So the e-collar, I always start by saying it's not a shock collar. Does it hurt? I mean, depending on what level you're on, it can be uncomfortable, but I don't know that I would describe it as painful. So the levels that we use,
it's kind of like make it stop.
Right. Like, Emily says, hi, Emily. So the levels that we use are just low enough to what I kind of consider to annoy the dog, to be like, ugh, like you said, turn it off. Like, that's just weird. Now the higher correctional levels, I mean, they're not meant to be fun. It is a consequence, but it's not pain, it's just like uncomfortable,
No, my husband's an athletic trainer and he will regularly ask his students, like the kids, he's like, is it painful or is it uncomfortable? So and the kids don't know how to answer him. And so he always gets irritated when people say something's painful because he's like, is it painful or uncomfortable? So an overuse injury, like if you strained your muscle lifting weights, that's uncomfortable. Right. But if you tore your bicep, that's painful. So it is different.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to remember that for myself when I'm like this, blah blah blah. Like, no, it's just uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Real quick, Nikita Lee, I hope I'm saying your name right. If not, I apologize. Just can I ask a question? And of course you can. That's what we're here for.
Yeah.
Ask all of the questions because that will make our night.
So Nikita, I believe, is my neighbor with the golden retriever puppies.
Well, hi. Sarah says, I tried out the e-collar. It doesn't hurt. Yes, I encourage all my clients, especially those who are a little bit on the fence about it. But at graduation lessons, I tell everybody, we pass around the e-collar and I tap it on the levels. And then I say, let me know when you can feel it. And they usually don't feel it until it's at like a 10 to a 15. And I'm like, okay, cool. Your dog's working level and your dog's correctional level is like a 10.
Right.
And they don't feel it until it's a 15. And they're like, really? So it's always fun.
Yeah.
Oh, it's the night of e-collar questions. I love e-collar. I will talk about the e-collar all day long.
Oh, okay, I think I have another one here.
Oh, okay.
After my dog is trained, how long do they have to wear the e-collar?
So after you get your driver's license, how long do you wear your seatbelt?
Hey, don't steal my seatbelt reference.
I just did. It's too late. So I'm going to answer this really quick, and then I'm going to ask Nikita's question. How long do you want to be able to hold your dog reliable or hold your dog accountable for their commands? How long do you want to be able to effectively communicate with your dog in a way that you've taught them? Because that's all that training is. Training is teaching your dog a language.
Right.
It's saying we can have clear communication now because we've done this training. So how long do you want to have that with them? Because yes, if you've trained up your dog and they've done everything on the e-collar and on the tools for like a couple months or even a year, if you then throw away all those tools, you're just going to slowly slide backwards, likely, because then your words start to lose value.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, I don't know, always.
Yeah.
What do you think?
I actually just had a client ask me that today. She said, because whatever. Anyway, she's like, how long do I have to use the e-collar? And I said, it's like a seatbelt. You don't always need your seatbelt, but thank God you have it on when you do need it. So.
Right. I'm going to slide on into our real question, if you don't mind.
Okay.
Says, hello. So when on the leash, he constantly barks at other dogs and growls a little bit. How can I stop this?
So he's young, isn't he? Like 16 weeks? I'm just throwing out a guess here, but he's a puppy. Is that true? If he is a puppy, you want to do some kind of adversive to get him to stop. So I would say, like, no, and I'd probably compressed air him. I love compressed air, and it's my go-to for a lot of things. So until a dog is on e-collar corrections, 4 months, okay. So until a dog's on e-collar corrections, I don't like to use the e-collar, plus he's too young for that anyway. Mm-hmm. So I'd have a thing of compressed air. I'm going to go grab it.
So I don't want to like say what you're about to say. I was about to continue your sentence and I was like, I can't cut you off. But she's grabbing the compressed air to show what it is. And all it is it's just compressed air. So it just makes a loud sound. Most of the times the dogs don't even feel that pressure from the air. The main correctional part of the compressed air is the strange sound it makes. It acts as an interrupter. So it snaps them out of what they're focusing on. And then they hear that sound that's kind of crazy and they're like, I don't know about that.
Sorry. Thank you.
This is stalling for you.
I appreciate it. So it looks like this. It's a pet convincer too. What it is just compressed air. So sometimes these are a little tricky. Like you have to really get this compressed air canister on, not at an angle when you turn it on, because if you get it at an angle, it will deplete the air. It'll just empty the canister. So I like to use this. It does have a lock trigger, and so I just unlock it. And what you're gonna do is like point it at the shoulder blade area. So like not at his face, but at his shoulder blades. So you're gonna want to mark it with no. You'll just say no, and then compressed air, like just a trigger. He's probably gonna turn around and be like, "What the hell?" And then I'm just gonna walk like normal. So it's not a big to do. It's just a no, punish, and then we're gonna keep walking. And you might have to do that for each thing he sees. So let's say he sees a dog, and you say no and punish, and now he sees a person. Well, that's a different picture. So dogs learn in pictures. So you might have to punish him for that dog reaction, and now the person reaction too. But that's my go-to. What about you?
No, that was good. No, I like the compressed air.
For that age.
It's good in that age, yeah. It was going to be that or a bonker, and a bonker is just a rolled up cotton towel and throw it at him. Just because I've had like not great luck with compressed airs. So I just have to like find a better brand that works for me. But that being said, you stole the words right out of my mouth, because I was going to say you really want to make sure that after the correction, you keep on moving on, right? We're not going to sit in the crap. We're going to move on. So no, we're not doing that. Let's keep walking though. And important to note, he might be like, well, I don't know, because like that was scary and I don't really know why that happened yet. But now we're just gonna keep walking. Good job, good job. Let's go. And then you do it again, just like you said. Then you follow through. But that after part, I think, is I just wanted to reiterate because it's super important that you move on after that and you don't just sit in the uncomfortable, not fun situation where there is still that distraction and the dog doesn't know what you want from him now because you've told him no. Well, now what do you want? Well, what I want now is to keep walking.
Just to walk. Yeah, that's good.
Okay, awesome. I hope that helps, and I can't wait to hear updates on your pup if you are Susan's neighbor. You got anything for me, or is it my turn?
Yeah, okay, since you asked, I'll ask this one. Okay. My hound runs around the yard and knocks over my daughter. How do I get him to stop?
Excuse me. How do you get him to stop running around the yard and knocking over your daughter? So I'm trying to decide. There's a bunch of different ways I can go with this. My answer to everything.
Make it suck? Oh, no, wait, that's somebody else.
Such a smart Alex Susan. I can't handle it. My answer to everything is train your dog. If you train him, he's going to look to you for guidance. You're going to be able to out him away from the kids, recall him away from the kids, and he's going to overall his energy, not like my energy level. His energy level is going to be all over the place. If you train him, he's going to just overall be more relaxed. And yeah, he can still have the zoomies. He can still be a dog, but you're going to have better control over when and where you have the zoomies. Without fully training your dog, maybe teach him out to keep him away from the kids, or a place command. So while the kids are outside, you have to be calm in place. And then when they're not, you can run around, manage it with a long line. I don't know. What do you think?
So for this client, they are signing up for my one-on-ones. So they're going to train up their dog. But in the meantime, I don't want to be like,
good luck.
Yeah. So in the meantime, I did tell her to have a leash, and she does have a prong collar, a Herm Springer. So have a prong collar and a leash on him. So he mainly does it outside, and then when you're going to like let him outside. So in situations where you know he's going to jump on you, you have that leash, that long line on him. So you can hold him accountable. He can still run around the yard, but if you come over to me, I'm going to mark that with no, like if you come over and jump, I'm going to say no and then give you the leash pop because his jumping is quite significant. So it's not just he's a lighthearted jump, you know, it's not a big deal. We're still correct.
Got clear off you.
He's a nut. So I want, you know, and it really hurts the kids and it hurts her, you know. So I wanted to make sure that you don't do that. Now, when I was over, I did end up doing the knee trick. So you just like knee him in the chest. And he did leave me alone pretty good after that. But then he went over to the mom and jumped on her, and I told her to do the knee thing. He didn't take her seriously at all. So I came over and then compressed aired him, and he left her alone. So you could use the compressed air. You could have like the leash and prong on him, but some kind of adversive that says, hey, don't do this, until you can train him up and then be able to hold him accountable off leash as well.
I like that. Makes sense. Comment I didn't get to show because we were talking. Nikita says, thank you, ladies, so much. I have an e-collar type of tool that makes a beep sound that seems to correct the defiance.
Oh, okay. So yeah, if that it's kind of like another adversive. It's just like an interrupter, like the air. It's just sound, not physical. So if that works for some of the stuff, then use what works.
Yeah. Alrighty, I have another question for you, Susan.
Okay.
So if my dog already knows sitting down, then why do you need to train them that too?
So you might train it a different way than I do. I didn't know how I was going to finish that sentence. So your sit might not have a stay, and your down is going to be different than mine. So Rachel's dog knows down. That's not my down. That's my lay.
True story.
So it's already different. But I want to have that. I want to have that communication with the dog, and plus I'm going to train it a different way. So I always do food, luring, leash, pressure, e-collar, because I want to be able to fall back on those things in that order. So you might have taught your dog sit with the food, and that's it. So your dog's only going to sit if you have a food, like treat in your hand. Well, that's part of like food luring. So I need to have that conversation with your dog so that we're on the same page. Like Rachel said, it's a language. So I need to make sure we're speaking sitting down on the same language, and then we can move on. So I would still need to have that conversation so I can hold them accountable the way I do. Because if I just say, okay, well, I'm going to hold him accountable the way I do and not train him, that's not fair. Because he doesn't know how I speak sitting down.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that makes complete sense. I always tell my clients, I'm going to act as if your dog knows nothing. Because I'll talk to them. They're like, well, my dog knows blah, 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 blah. That's cool. I'm glad you've done that with them. And that doesn't take away the fact that you've done that with them. But I'm still going to start as if they know nothing. Because I never want to assume you know something. Because just like you said, if I were to get one of your dogs, your down doesn't have the implied stay. Get up when you're calm, right? My down means lie down and stay down, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if I were to get a dog that was trained by you and they're like, oh yes, this dog already knows sit and down. Great. Now this dog just keeps breaking down. So now I'm correcting them for something that they were taught means something completely different. Or even place. Lots of trainers train place differently. So I want to make sure that we are on the same page. So there's no room for interpretation. We're going to be very clear. And then the main thing, like you said as well, I want to be able to know I can fall back on leash pressure and then know I can fall back on food luring.
Right.
Also, fun fact. I made a TikTok about this today because I'm on TikTok now. The difference between a command and a trick. So there are different versions of sitting down. And I think most owners have the trick version of sitting down, which is great. It's still awesome you've done that and you've had that like bonding fun time with your dog. But if your dog only is going to sit when you have a treat and when you're in a low distraction environment, sometimes, then that's a trick. That's a cool trick that you put in the work and you taught your dog how to do it. But I want to take that and make sit a command. And now there's this whole movement about not calling them commands. It's a command because I'm not asking you to. But I want you to be able to sit at the park in the middle of this busy area. And I'm not going to bribe you with treats. So that's the other reason, because your version of your dog knowing something and my version of your dog knowing something is probably going to be different.
Right.
Really long rant.
It wasn't really long.
I feel like it was. Could have been longer, bet.
Okay. Let's see. Rachel.
Yeah?
When can I start training my new 8-week-old golden doodle?
My favorite question. Because training starts the second you picked up that puppy. Every single interaction you have with your dog.
Do you mean literally like pick them up? So as long as I don't pick them up and hold them?
Exactly. As long as they keep 4 on the floor, you're not training. No. The second you brought that puppy into your life, training's begun. Every interaction you have with that puppy, you're training them. They are not stupid. They're walking away from every situation thinking, did I gain something from that? Or should I maybe not do that again? Or am I kind of indifferent about it? But they're learning something. They're sponges. Everything you do with them, they're learning. Just so you know, don't start habits that you have to break. We'll talk about that later. As far as formal obedience training with tools, I wait until about 15, 16 weeks, I think. Between 14 and 16, I don't know, in that time frame. But as far as like food luring and clicker training, like you can probably start that like I don't know now. Yeah. Like 8-week-old puppies can food lure and get clicker conditioned or good conditioned and learn the different positions at this age. Like I do that with my puppy program dogs. Don't know why I hesitated. I had to think about it. I had to think about what age they were. So you can definitely start teaching them these commands with food now to make these commands super awesome and pairing the words a bunch. But then I wouldn't start using tools until they're about 15, 16 weeks.
Now, but what do you consider tools?
Prong collar, knee collar. And then probably like a dominant or a slip as well. I don't know if I would have those on a puppy. Maybe. Yeah. I don't know. Honestly, it depends on the breed of dog. Because I guess anything's a tool. Flat collar, harness, anything. But yeah, I wouldn't put a prong collar or an e-collar on them until they're 15, 16 weeks old.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think? Because I was thinking about the slip lead thing. I was like, well, when I was in the kennel, we slip led puppies. So I mean,
don't ask me things I don't know. Honestly,
sorry.
honestly, I don't know if I've ever. I don't know if I thought I'd ever say this. I would probably have a harness on them until I use a prong collar, and I never
So,
thought I would say that.
you know why? You know why I was pausing? Because I was trying to think about who was it that I put a harness on them, and I think it was Tank. You good?
Yeah, she went back on. Do you want to hear a funny story?
Yes.
She farted and it scared her. So she farted and got off the place bed. I felt really bad saying no, so that's why I didn't punish her.
She was like, "What was that?" Oh my gosh, that's funny. Gaia has done that before.
Oh.
Well, she not okay. Gaia doesn't have so much gets scared, but she gets confused.
Oh.
What was that? I'm like, don't even worry about it, Gaia. I have to leave the room now, but you don't worry about it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it was Tank I did that with. I put a harness on him. Because yeah, when they're so small, and then that sets you up for success because they're not going to learn to ignore any neck pressure until you can teach them.
Right.
Yeah. So maybe harness for the younger puppies until they're.
I'd probably have a collar on them so they get used to something around their neck. And then I wouldn't put a leash on it.
That's smart, because that's the other thing too. Because if you just are wearing a harness, when you put anything on their neck, they're gonna be like, "What is this?
Right.
What is this?" So I like that a lot. I like that a lot, Miss Susan. My turn.
Yeah.
All right, this one's kind of weird. But if you take your what?
You did ask it, so go ahead.
All right, don't come at me. If you take your dog to a park with a body of water, what do? Do you let them go in it? Do you let them explore? Do you encourage them to be away from it? What does that look like safety wise?
Okay, depends on the dog. So if it's a puppy under the ages of like 16 weeks, I would not have them go in the water because there's a risk of leptospirosis, which is a disease that lives in bodies of water. So if your puppy is younger than that, they wouldn't have had that vaccine, so I wouldn't have them go in the water. If it's an adult dog, like my Miss C, she loves the water. I'm gonna be like, you have at it, because she freaking loves it. If it's little, she doesn't really care about it. I'd love her to go in the water because the water's awesome and fun. I wouldn't discourage a dog from going in the water unless I had good reason to, like there's crocodiles in it because I'm in Florida, or
when we go pick up my puppy.
Huh?
I said when we go pick up my puppy.
Yes. We'll have to make like a week of it because like I love Florida, Gator World. But if my dog like chugs water or something stupid, of course I wouldn't have her in the water. But I love when dogs enjoy the water. Like I want my dog to be a dog. So like go be a dog. I'd let him do it.
I like it. I mean, it's gonna basically just fall back on knowing your dog and knowing that they can be safe, and then being aware of the surroundings. So I was at James River, which means nothing to you, but a park up there today, and that water is not joking around. It's a really like, I don't know what the word is, a strong, I don't know. It's fast water. I don't know. So that was a concern of mine, because I worry, and I'm like, well, what if? But like she stayed on leash the whole time. But know your dog, right? So I was with Piper. She's tiny. If she were to go in the water, she probably couldn't swim in the water moving like that. But if you've got a good, bigger dog who's a strong swimmer and it is in a calmer area, like you have to just know your dog and evaluate the situation. But when in doubt, harness or the life jacket and a long line. But that's my thought, because I don't want to have to go into the water after you, because that's gross.
I didn't think about like currents.
Yeah, this is like
a stagnant body of water.
Yeah, next time you come here, we'll have to go to James River.
Yeah.
So you can see that water. And now I know how to go there, because I found the entrance to where I wanted to go. All right, you got anything for me?
Okay. My dog gets really excited when people come over. She isn't mean, just jumps and whines. What should I do about this?
Well, stop having people over.
Done.
No. Next. Okay. So you've got a couple options here, and it's going to depend on which route you want to take. You said, what's the dog do? Jump on them?
Jump.
Is there something else? Jump and whine?
So I don't think the dog jumps on people, just like around you.
Silly goose. So technically speaking, you can still correct that, I guess, like 4 on the floor. That's the law. So you could just know and correct. I don't know how much that's going to help with the whining. That could bring them down, and they're like, okay, chill. Or you can train a place and or out command. So you have company coming over, you put your dog on a place, company comes in, your dog's job is to lie there and stay calm. It's going to help with the whining, because their job is to lie there and be calm. Or out. So again, don't know that out is going to help with the jumping in this case. But if they maybe only jump if they're close to the person, you can out them away, and you can make your out move pretty far away. But yeah, corrected or train one of those commands would be my go-to. And then a correction would be whatever valuable to that dog.
I like the correction and place. So I like to be able to tell a dog, don't do this, but now what do you do? So just like Rachel said with the puppy earlier, you want to be able to give them some direction, because if you just correct it, now the dog might just like do circles around the house or something stupid, because they're still in the same state of mind. You're just not letting them do what the consequence of that state of mind was. So the consequence of the crazy state of mind is jumping. So you're like, don't jump. So they're like, okay, well, I'm just going to like run around like this.
Right.
So I would say, no, punish. That was me on the e-collar, in case you didn't know. No, punish, and then place. Because that's your job, is just lay there, and it's really boring, and you just go to sleep. Love place.
That is very smart, Susan. So setting that up, would you set it up like that? So I have a company coming over. They're going to be knocking on the door in 5 minutes. So everything's chill, nothing's going on, let company come in, let them come in, let the dog jump up, no, correct that, then put them on place? Or would you... Okay.
If I wanted to stop the jumping, like...
Makes sense. You got to set them up for the jumping.
Yeah. If it's a board and train, I'm going to try to set up the jumping otherwise. But if you're like, Susan, the dog only jumps when people come over, I'm going to be like, okay. So I'm going to set it up. And I'm going to have a leash and prong on this dog. And the mistake people make... Wow, that got real bright.
I saw that.
The mistake people make is because I've had my hands up or something.
White self.
I glow. The mistake people make is not giving their dog enough leash. So,
not do what?
Giving their dog enough leash.
Okay.
So if this is the dog, and this is your leash, people do this. So the dog feels constant tension. So that's not how prongs and leashes work. So I'm going to give the dog slack so that the dog can like go and jump and stuff. So then the dog, it's up to them. Do you want to make a good decision or a bad decision? I'm not holding you back, because the prong collar, the way it works is pressure on, pressure off. And it's just a minimal, it's a momentary correction. So owners do this. And I'm like, no, give them the leash. So that's what we did with Bella today. I was like, give them leash. So then when she goes to jump, you made that decision. Nothing I did was causing that. So I'm going to say no, and then pop, you're going to get down, and now I'm going to say place. And then you go place. So just make sure you give your dog the chance to do bad or good. Like, give them the opportunity.
I really like that, Susan.
Yeah.
Give them the chance. And then I like your demonstration with the e-collar remote. Because you're right. It's like when there's constant pressure on the leash, in order to then add a correction, you have to let go, add, let go. Like, I like how you demonstrate the leash
Yeah.
pressure. That was
So
great.
what Rachel
Which is
was
why slips are weird.
yeah. So what Rachel was saying, like if this is the dog and this is the leash, if you have constant pressure, if the dog jumps up, in order to give a leash pop, I have to give the dog slack and then pop and release.
Right.
So it's just a little bit trickier that way. So I
A
just
little bit.
I give the dog leash, and that way, like wherever the dog's going, I'm gonna walk with you and give you that leash. And then if you make a bad decision, no.
Nice.
Yeah.
No, I like that because so not the dogs can't be trained on this, but head halters. My thing with head halters is the dog doesn't have to think. You can hold the leash right here and the dog can't pull forward because you've got a leash attached to its face. And I mean, I guess you could do the same thing with the flat collar or whatever because you're holding them in position. But my reason for not liking those is the dog doesn't have to think at all. They don't have that nice J in the leash. They aren't making the choice to be next to you. Again, I know you can train them on them. I know, not the point. But I say I like training heel in the way I train it because the dog is choosing to be in a heel position. So it makes perfect sense to say that with the jumping too. Like I'm going to give you free range, and if you choose to jump, there's this consequence. And then let me tell you what else to do.
Right.
I know that head halter thing was a rant back to my old job we used to say, but I like that. I'm gonna give you the chance to make
it. Do you have your window open?
Open?
Yeah.
No.
I keep hearing like a little.
Oh, a cricket? You hear a cricket, Susan?
Is it in
you
your
hear
house?
a cricket? It's freaking in Charlie's tank right now because he's too lazy to eat it and I can't catch it. So I'm gonna burn his tank to the ground. Not actually.
Is that a dog whining? I thought one of my dogs was whining, like low-key whining.
So I've got the rest of his crickets in a bucket, and I put them downstairs because I didn't want them to be literally chirping in the Q&A. And then I forgot that my bearded dragon is lazy, so he won't eat the crickets unless they walk in front of his face. So there's just a cricket in his tank right now that I haven't caught, and it's being loud and annoying. And this is why I never feed him crickets anymore. So
yeah. You only eat them when they're alive?
Yeah.
Not that you buy dead crickets. Okay.
Yeah, no, so he gets mealworms because they're quiet, and still with the mealworms, I have to put them right in front of his face.
Wow.
You know why? Because I'm a bad bearded dragon owner, and I never made him chase his food. I would always be like, here, eat, here, eat, here, eat, here, eat. So he doesn't chase his food now. Kind of like a dog, you know? If I keep on adding things to my dog's food, they're going to wait for me to add stuff to their food. I continuously shoved food down his face so he wouldn't die, and now he insists on being fed that way. So if anyone wants a bearded dragon, hit me up.
Yeah.
Susan, I have a. Oh, were you about to say?
Oh no, go ahead.
I have a topic.
Ooh. Vets? No, just kidding. That'll be later.
Yes, I do. I wish I could see Gaia right now. I kind of want to turn my screen. Should I turn? I don't know if you're gonna be able to see her, but let me try just for fun.
Okay.
Look
oh my god.
Like, why are you laying like that? Okay. So, my topic, back to seriousness, is this has like been my topic of the month because I heard this quote and I loved it. Don't start habits just to break them.
It's a good topic. You said it earlier.
I know, but I wanted to talk about it, sassafras.
Yeah.
So the idea is in the topic, don't start a habit just to then have to stop it, because what's the point in that? So do you want me to like say things, or do you want to say things?
No, you go ahead.
So example of that. Puppy pads, pee pads. Please pee and poop in my house. Why would I want to train a dog to pee on a puppy pad? Because I think the idea is you use these and then you take them outside. But what happens is people get their dogs trained on the pads and then they stay there because they don't break that habit. So why would you start that habit to then break it? I never want you peeing and pooping in my house. So why would I start that habit? Just saying.
It's worse. It's so much worse to have to stop a behavior than to just avoid it in the first place, like that. So you think it's going to save you time, and it really doesn't. Especially
Right.
the pee pad thing, because working at the vet hospital, there were dogs, usually small ones, Yorkies and that kind of thing, that they started out pee pad training them, and they come in 13 years old, and that's their only complaint. Yeah, she just never potty trained. We're like, did you use pee pads? Yeah. Okay. It's rough.
And it's like not owner shaming here, but like as a industry,
Yeah.
like pet world industry, like what have we done? Like why are we telling people that that's an easy fix? Okay, so here's a puppy, point A. Here's being potty trained outside, point B. A to B. Okay. I'm gonna throw in pee pad training.
Mm-hmm.
Now we gotta go all the way around. Like, why would we add in this extra step?
Right.
That's way over here. Do you like my little like
Yeah.
triangle? I forgot which was the puppy and which was potty training, but we gotta go way out of our way to pee pad train. So why do that? Why not just go from boom to boom? And I know that taking a dog out every 3 hours is about to be a pain in the butt, but so is having a dog pee and poop in your house for the rest of its life.
Yeah.
Anyways, what'd you say about dogs outside every 3 hours?
I said that's why I don't have a puppy right now, because that's the most annoying thing.
It's going to be a lot of really fun couple of weeks.
No.
So when I get my Mally, you don't want to come stay with me and help raise it for the first few weeks?
No. But if I get my Mally, I'm going to send it to you for the first 6 weeks of its life, and then I'm going to get it when it's trained and potty trained.
Apparently I'm the puppy queen, so please do.
I will.
I'll take a Mally. Anyone want to give me a Mally? Don't tell Gaia. But yeah, that's just my topic. It's
Anybody
like
not know what a Mally is?
Well, considering nobody's watching. That's okay. These go up as a replay. So if you're watching this as a replay, you get to hear my smart aleck comments. Fun fact, people call Australian Malamutes Mallies as well.
Yeah, you told me that, and that didn't compute with me at all. That's
now, TBH, to be honest, Shyla's mom was the one who told me that. She said Mallies are really called something else too, but some people don't like that. So Mallies, Australian Malamutes, have two nicknames that are like Malamute themed nicknames, if that makes sense. And I can't remember what the other one is, but I told her,
a lute, Malamute.
I like it. But I told her, I said, I'm glad that I already knew Shyla, because if she texted me and told me she had a Mally, I would have lost it. I would have called you and started crying because I want to train a Mally, and then crying because, oh my gosh, I have to train a Mally. Okay. Got any questions for me?
You're gonna help me train that aggressive one that I get in, right?
Yeah. I have 1 week off in August. It was going to be my vacation with you. So why don't you get them in for that week?
Just 1 week?
I mean, you can take over after I leave.
Okay.
Do that for the first week. So, guys, I can just see us doing that. That's not even funny. We're going on vacation. Come on. But we love our job. And I can just see us being like, so we were going to go on vacation to the beach, but we decided to train this dog instead.
We would. How fun would that be, though? How fun.
There goes our vacation. Honestly, we never made vacation plans. We never had anything set, so maybe this is why.
That would be cool. Train an aggressive dog together?
That wouldn't be really good for both of us. Let's be real here, because I have that one that is kind of maybe human aggressive that I won't be getting for a little bit, and I wanted you to come anyways, right, Apollo? So it's like, let's do this, and that'll make us both more comfortable. So happy vacation. Let's hope we don't get bit.
Well, I just if they contact me again.
Okay.
If
Falls in their court.
Yeah.
That's pretty funny though. That would be something we do. Speaking of, I've had a song stuck in my head all day. It's called Vacation by some weird band, but it's like,
is it that song that
almost,
I'm on vacation every single day because I love my occupation. Okay.
Thank you for singing it. That song. So yeah, I mean, we would be on vacation still.
No.
No, I want to go to the beach or something.
I do want to go on vacation, for real. I need to go on vacation.
Yes, you do. Apparently those are important for like mental health and stuff and not getting burnt out in the industry.
Very important.
If only I had a young employee who I could always go on vacation with and claim it was because we were splitting the cost.
Could Cricket Dog Training be a subdivision of Rachel Kohler Dog Training?
Yeah. Gosh. No, I don't think we would be doing what they're doing on their vacation. Anyway, so moving on to the next topic. Susan, do you have any more dog training questions for me?
Yeah.
Before I cross a couple too many lines.
Actually, yes, I do.
Okay, good, because I'm out. I only had 3.
My dog barks every time the garbage truck comes by. I've tried everything and he just doesn't care. I've even purchased an e-collar and hit him on high.
So, the thing about I've tried everything, do I want to address that or no? We haven't tried everything because we haven't found what works. And we're going to find something that works. So you just haven't tried the thing that's going to work. As far as getting an e-collar and hitting your dog on high with it, I'm going to guess that they weren't putting the pieces together to understand why they were feeling that. So to them, it was...
#think.
And they weren't putting the pieces together to understand why that pressure was happening. So it was just a random thing that he was like, what the F was that? But I don't know why it happened and I can't stop it because it just kind of happened. So I'm just going to keep living my life. Oh, guess what? Next week, mailman. No, trash truck. Going to bark at you again, right? Mm-hmm. So the thing with any form of correction or any sort of praise or anything is we have to be really precise with our marker words. So you're going to need to catch them in the act and mark it before you correct. You're going to have to make your marker word have value through different things. And I just always want to say train your dog because overall, let's bring that mindset down and let's make you more relevant so these corrections have more meaning because it's not a free-for-all all day long and all week long until trash day and then, hey, don't do that.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Well, because they tried the easier way. Because we would say train your dog ideally, or you can just punish it high. Mm-hmm. So according to them, their e-collar was on high, whatever it was, and that didn't work. So we tried.
Is this actually him?
No.
Oh, okay. I was like, I don't remember the story.
No, it's very similar.
Oh, okay.
But like, you know, that's what they tried. This person, because yeah, it would be either train your dog or try correcting it. You've tried correcting it high on an e-collar. That didn't work. So now what we're going to do is actually train up your dog on the e-collar for their commands. Because once we teach them on the lower levels, they're going to become sensitive to that. I have not had a dog that's had a working level once I've taught them like what it means past a 10. I think at first Allie was like not showing anything until like a 12, but she was so like, to steal Rachel's word, in her mind
that's what my mind sounds like.
Yeah, she just couldn't do anything. After that, her working level was lower than a 10. So it's like once we train them on the lower levels, they're going to become sensitive. Most of my dogs, when they go home, their correction level will start at like between a 10 and a 15. That's where it starts at. Same thing with this, well, I'm assuming this dog. So like Hank is a very good example. That's kind of very similar. He would jump on people. And the owners tried an e-collar at the highest level. Nothing fazed him. By working with him, like I had to teach him, you have control over this remote. Like this sensation that you're feeling, this is on you. because look, you can turn it off. Look, you can turn it off. So I didn't correct with the e-collar at all until after. So I taught him what it meant at lower levels, and by doing that, you won't need to even hit him at a high level to correct that reaction to the garbage truck now. You'll probably correct him at like a 20. I'm just guessing. I don't know. But like a lower level, and he'll be like, oh, sorry, ma'am. But because you've made yourself relevant. Until this point, he doesn't have any structure, I'm just guessing, at all. So randomly, he gets corrected for doing that, and he's just like, what does this even mean? I'm just going to keep barking. Like, I'm already adrenalized. Here's this sensation. It's going to make me more adrenalized because I just don't know what to do with it. But if you become relevant, especially, sorry, I'm just having like an epiphany.
No, I'm having like an epiphany in my head right now as you're talking. Like my brain is exploding. So please continue.
Yeah, because you're going to be relevant, and your no is going to be powerful. It's not even the correction sometimes, Rachel. It's the no. Because if you see my dog,
which is why we tell people not to threaten their dog with the e-collar remote, because it's not the tool, it's you. You should be relevant. Continue, sorry.
So when board and trains, like when I have a board and train, you'll see like when I tell them, when I correct them, it's like this. No. That's it.
And you don't lift your hand up in real life. It was just.
I don't, but this is for you.
I just wanted them to know.
Yeah, it would be like, but anyway, it was for you. That's my son. So if you see me do this, it's an e-collar. Anyway, but yeah, if you see me correct a dog, and then so by the time they're here with me for like a week and a half, when I say no, they're like this, and they stop doing whatever they're doing. Because I matter. I'm relevant. So this, I don't want to say doesn't matter, because it does. There has to be a consequence. But because I'm so consistent, and no means no means no, there's always a punisher. When I say no, the dog's going to be like, oh, darn. And I'm like, yeah, sorry. And then you punish. Good topic, though. If you're on the point where you can say no and your dog stops the unwanted behavior, punish anyway. Because if you don't, your no is going to lose value. So,
just like the first question you asked, when can we lose the tool? You're going to eventually start to lose its value. Your words, if not.
No, you go ahead because I talked forever. So.
No, I thought that was beautiful. I loved that whole thing. I had a comment I wanted to make before diving into the e-commerce stuff. So that didn't work. The making it suck didn't work, right? So can I just pat us on the back for a second? Because our answers aren't make it suck, make everything suck, your dog's not perfect, make it suck, make it suck, make it suck. Because, okay, here's the thing. For those who don't know, I'm being sassy. One trainer's answer to everything is make it suck. Pretty much everything, make it suck. And don't get me wrong, there are instances, if you try to bite me, if you try to bite another dog, it's gonna suck. We don't do that. But there are so many other ways, and training your dog takes care of everything. So your dog can have 10 problems, and you could try making it suck for everything. But if you just freaking train your dog and have that relationship with them, and it's gonna have a ripple effect. And I know what you want to talk about, so I want to wrap this up. But it's gonna just fix so many things. And I know we can't have a podcast and sit here and be like, okay, here's this question. The answer: train your dog. Another question: train your dog. Oh, guess what? Train your dog, right? But we do. We say, you know what? I understand you're an owner. You might not want to train your dog the 7 or 6 commands that we train. In your situation, I think a place is going to be really valuable. I think out is going to be really valuable. And we customize it for the people in the situation and don't just tell them to correct their dog, because that doesn't always work if your dog doesn't know what function means. Okay. I'm just really movie with my hands today. So please go on to tell me about the 10 problems that training can fix.
Okay. So, Miss Skyla, long story short, she had a lot of problems. I actually wrote a list because I have a book when I talk to clients, here are all the problems that the dog's having. And then I kind of forget some of the lesser problems because I know the big ones. Okay. So anyway, when Skyla was going home, I was like, it'll be fun to read read what her problems were.
That's so cute.
Yeah, so I like doing that because I read it to Joe, my husband, and he's like, she never even did that. I'm like, I know. It's so cool because it's like this was never even a problem that came up for me. But her mom, when we were doing the post-training go home like interview, she was telling me all these different things, and some of these things I didn't even know. So Skyla had a list of issues. I trained her up. I'm going to tell you, so I trained her just by doing the basic obedience commands, and she was a 2-week jump start, which means if we have time to prove, I'll do that. I can't promise you I will. So it's just the commands. You're going to do the proofing, and proofing just
she's a 2-week.
Proofing just means doing the commands and adding distractions in like different scenarios so that your dog is bomb-proof. So you're going to do a lay around kids. Now you're going to do a lay around dogs. So anyway, she's just a 2-week jump start. Just taught her the commands, was able to proof a couple times. Her mom said, so Skyla was just laying on the grass, chewing a stick. But instead of swallowing it, she would just spit it all out. Like she's chewing, and then she would get a piece in her mouth and you'd see her tongue flick it. Like she's like, get out of there, and she'd flick it on the ground. And so I told the owner, I was like, oh yeah, so she's chewing on a stick. I said, as long I'm okay, I mean, she's your dog, but I'm okay if she just chews on the stick and spits it out, you can have the stick. But if you start swallowing it, I'm going to out you from it and the fun's over. And she's like, before training, she would have eaten the stick. And I'm like, really? She's like, yeah, she would have eaten the stick. She's like, she would go out because they had a fenced-in yard. She'd go out, and if there was a stick, she'd have to run after her and chase her to grab it because she would chew it and just swallow it. I didn't tell her not to do that to sticks. She just knows.
Oh my gosh.
She used to grab things out of their hands. Like if you're walking through the kitchen, anything in your hand, she'd jump and grab it. So the one time with Grandma, she had a pair of scissors in her hand, and Skyla jumped up and mouthed the scissors. Nothing happened, thank God. But she's like, that day I contacted you. I never corrected her for, like, I don't think I ever corrected her for going at anything in my hand unless it may have been a toy. But like she never tried to get anything from my hand ever. When we were playing, real quick, I'll wrap it up. So another one. So I was playing with her, and I was showing Skyla's mom that I can out her from the stick and throw it. But I can also play with you. So like she had the stick, and I was running after her and chasing her, and then she'd chase me, and I'd chase her. So pretend I'm like, I pretend like I'm gonna grab the stick, and then I wouldn't. And then after a while, I'm like, out, and then she outs, and then I break, and then whatever. So anyway, she's like, wow, before this, if we played a game like that with her, she would come over, and instead of, so what Skyla would do if you're me, she would be like, right? But before, she would do this and jump on you. I may have corrected her for jumping once, but I never corrected her for jumping while playing. Like, that was just something she knew. Like, I respect you, and I'm not supposed to touch you. You know what I mean? So, like, I never told her not to do that. And she's like, yeah, she would have jumped on you. It's just stuff like that. Like, it's so cool.
The ripple effect is amazing. And I think Skyla was, like, one of the biggest examples of that because I tell my clients about the ripple effect because it's a thing, but, like, she just had example after example after example. Which is insane. Because, like, the chewing the stick thing, it's like, wait, well, why? Why did you know not to eat that? Like, why?
And then the owner even said, now she does chew toys pretty good, but it's like, that's what a toy's for, like, in my mind, as long as you don't eat it. Anyway, so Skyla went home. We had to go home. The next day, Skyla stayed home, and I came back the second day. She said last night, Skyla didn't destroy any toys at all. She'd normally destroy all the toys. She didn't destroy them at all. Aww. Like, it's just stuff like that. It's just,
these are my tweets. This is so sweet. Oh my gosh. Well, I think that is a wonderful note to end on because it makes me feel all happy because you did an amazing job with Skyla, and I cannot wait to see her post training interview.
I think that's tomorrow.
Yes, I can't wait. So everybody watch that. So thank you everybody for watching. Q&A number 29, big 30 next week. So that's exciting. You can, I don't remember my exit because I had a really good exit and then I forgot it. So you can follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube at Pack Your Dog and Rachel Kohler Dog Training. Thank you so much and have a great night.
Night.